I'm saved. I know I was saved because I was there when it happened. I'm saved. I know that I know. My preacher told me I was saved. And Jesus says, you'll know you're saved by your fruits. Now don't you be judging me. You can't tell a book by its cover and you don't know what's in my heart. I'm saved. Jesus says, that's a lie. And you'll believe it straight to hell. You will know them by their fruits. You will know them by their fruits. You will know them by their fruits. And then he goes on and listen to these terrible words. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord. Now you need to understand something about Hebrew manner of speaking and writing. When an American wants to emphasize something, he raises his voice. Or if he's writing, he'll put it in bold letters or something. When a Jew wants to emphasize something, he practices what we call his Hebrew parallelism. He'll say something and then say it again. For example, Isaiah says, in the year the king Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple, and above him stood the seraph, each one having 6 wings. With 2 they covered their face, with 2 they covered their feet, with 2 they did fly, and one cried unto the other, Holy, holy, holy. Notice it doesn't say nice, nice, nice. Notice it doesn't say merciful, merciful, merciful. Notice that it doesn't even say love, love, love. It says holy, holy, holy. Wise theologians know what that means. The first thing you need to know about God, the supreme thing you need to know about God, is He's holy. Amazing. I was preaching a meeting a while back. This was several years ago, actually. And I preached just one night on the holiness of God. Just the holiness of God. And a group of men came up to me afterwards, go, Mr. Washer, we got a problem with you. It's okay. What's the problem? You preached on the holiness of God, and not once tonight did you mention the love of God. I said, I got a problem with you 3 men. Last night I preached on the love of God, and not once did I mention the holiness of God, and none of you had a problem with it. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord. So what he's saying here is this. Not every person who claims to be my disciple and emphatically declares me to be Lord will enter into the kingdom of heaven. John MacArthur says this. Do you want to know what your confession of faith in Jesus Christ is worth? Absolutely nothing. Because here we have people emphatically confessing Jesus to be Lord. And he says this. Not everyone who tells me that will enter into the kingdom of heaven. Then what is the sign or the mark of a person who is actually Christian, saved, and going to heaven? He says this, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter in the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. Now look at that. Will enter. Now notice, he does not say that we are saved by doing the will of the Father. That would be works salvation. We are saved only by faith in Jesus Christ. But the evidence that we have truly believed and that we have truly been regenerated and that we are truly Christian is that our life changes because our nature is changed, and it must produce real changes in our lifestyle. And the lifestyle of a true Christian is they are concerned about what the will of God is, and they seek to obey that will. And when they do not follow that will, the Holy Spirit convicts them of their sin, and they are broken over it, and they confess it, and they start all over again. But most people who've prayed that prayer and asked Jesus Christ to come into their heart, they don't even know when they're sinning. I want you to know, if you're a Christian here, maybe you're thinking to yourself, you know, I stumble, I do this, I do that. I want to be for Christ and I struggle to be with Him, but man, is He talking about me? Listen. First of all, the question is it true what you say? In your heart, is it not just a vain thing you say, but is it evident that you desire to be like Christ and you want to do His will and know it? Well, then your struggling over sin may be the great evidence that you are born again. That God is doing a work of sanctification. Remember, the evidence that you're a Christian is not that you're sinless. It's that when you sin, you are broken over your sin. It breaks you into a million pieces. But God's comfort, grace comes and picks you up and sets you back on the path again and encourages you to go on. Sometimes you get up in the morning and you don't want to read the Word. Just like sometimes my heart is dull. But when we go through the day, we feel so convicted about what we've done, and we realize I've got to get into the Word. I need prayer. I need help. I need to grow. That is a sign of Christianity. But for many in our our churches today. They can go throughout the entire week and never crack a Bible and it doesn't bother them a bit. They can never pray and it doesn't bother them a bit. They've never mourned over their sin and it doesn't bother them a bit. They can look like the world, act like the world, dress like the world, talk like the world, love what the world loves, try to imitate the world and everything. But bless God, they're saved because their preacher told them so, because one time in their life they prayed that little prayer. How we ought to be afraid.